What is up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and these are just some of the best and most anticipated metal albums coming out in the month of August. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, starting off with August 6th, we've got Burn in Hell with Disavowed of the Creator of God via Reason and Rage Records. This is an Australian East Coast 5-piece drawing musical inspiration from hardcore and metal heavyweights such as Harm's Way, Cult Leader, and Converge. Total crusher, throw in some nails and Full of Hell for good measure. D-Beat Massacre. Then we have Crypt Crawler with Future Usurper via Bitter Loss. This is a Western Australian band pulling old school death metal vibes and traditional tones together with a modern approach. We also have German black metal collective GROZA with their second full-length album, The Redemptive End, which is for fans of Harakiri for the Sky, Karg, Mgwa, Uada, Alcest, and all of this via AOP Records. Then another one I'm really stoked to tell you about, we have Leave with Dead Language. And in case you've ever been wondering where this hat is from, the homie Dan of the Hudson Horror is finally dropping this thing. It's his latest metalcore project. You might know him from the Hudson Horror, which is actually part of our theme song. But this new album has notes of Norma Jean and Glassjaw with the dynamics of Loathe and Meth as well. Again, the album is called Dead Language, and it honestly may be the best thing that he's done yet.
That was the beginning of the end.
Alright, moving on to August 13th, we have Lorna Shore and I Return to Nothingness. The New Jersey deathcore crew back again with new vocalist Will Ramos in tow. I haven't been the biggest card-carrying fan of this project over the years, but I did enjoy the atmosphere of Immortal, and Will's vocals on the single are absolutely disgusting in the best way. Then we have Aenigmatum with Deconsecrate via 20 Bucks Spin, the annihilating second album from this Portland, Oregon-based death metal crew. Quicksand back again with Distant Populations via Epitaph. I'll say that these guys have gone a bit softer on their later albums, but for my money, they were one of the most underrated bands of the 90s and still put on a great show. I caught them when they were touring with Glassjaw, and it was a great time. Then, of course, there's Slaughter to Prevail with Kostolom. Seems like we got a grudge match going on this Friday with this Russian deathcore favorite going head-to-head with that Lorna Shore EP.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is their highly anticipated second album after a string of very successful singles leading up to it. If I were a betting man, I think I'd put my money on this one by a hair. The groove is just too damn infectious, and once more Alex seems like he is having fun stretching his vocal range.
You have a problem, boy? Well, not bad. But when you got, set the boy down. You put the run.
We also have Vaelmyst with Secrypts of the Egochasm. These guys are LA conduits of spiritual violence through a brutal melodic death metal delivery. We also have Fleshbore with Embers Gathering. This Indianapolis tech death crew is releasing their first full-length debut album on Inner Strength Records with notes of Archspire and Aborted in the vocals, and I am really enjoying what I'm hearing from it. We also have Burial in the Sky with the Consumed Self via Rising Nemesis. More saxophone-infused progressive technical death metal from these guys with their third album, following up the well-received Creatio et Hominis. We also have Sepultura with SepulQuarta via Nuclear Blast. More from the Brazilian heavyweights that I'm sure fans are going to gobble down. And last but not least, on the 13th, we have Fawn Limbs with Darwin Falls. This three-man purveyor of geometric noise and mathematical chaos continues to crank out the hits following the maniacal sleeper vessels. It's got members of Artificial Brain and Psyopus, so if you haven't hopped on the train with these guys yet, you are missing out. Looking forward to August 20th, which is a very busy week, we have Between the Buried and Me with Colors 2. Probably one of my most anticipated albums of the year, with them not only dropping a new album, which is always cause for celebration in general, but making a tall order for themselves by naming it the sequel to one of their most lauded albums of all time. We also get a new EP from Sodom in Bombenhagel. This is the German thrash metal legends with their latest to follow up the almost surprisingly awesome Genesis XIX so late in their storied career, and they're just killing it. Then there's Wolves in the Throne Room with Primordial Arcana, the Olympia, Washington black metal band delivering yet another expansive and atmospheric journey, this time via Relapse Records. Also Deafheaven with Infinite Granite. Cool to have these guys back to back, the fellow West Coast darlings, Deafheaven, and their latest post-black opus. Honestly, the singles for this one are so shoegazy, I'm wondering if we'll get much in the way of harsh vocals at all. There's also Necronautical with Slain in the Spirit. This is a UK black metal band for fans of Gorgoroth, Immortal, Dimubor Gear, and this is just following up their solid effort that I reviewed in 2019. Some Swedish death metal from Daemonicus and Eschaton. This is their third album on Black Lion Records and their first in 9 years. And then Bone Hunter with Dark Bone Reincarnation System. This is a Finnish black and thrash and speed metal band. Their name always kind of cracks me up, but they are keeping the fires burning via Hell's Headbangers. Highly recommended for fans of Rebel Wizard and Destroyer 666. And then on August 27th, we round things out with White Stones and Dancing into Oblivion. This is the solo death metal project of Martin Mendez of Opeth, coming out via Nuclear Blast. And then keeping the side projects rolling with Cataclysm frontman Maurizio Iacono's Ex Dio and the new album The 13 Years of Nero. I also probably butchered all of that pronunciation. British Columbian black metalers Wormwitch are following up 2019's Heaven That Dwells Within with Wolf Hex. And then, of course, Jinjer with Wallflowers, the Ukrainian groove metal favorites with arguably one of the most anticipated albums of the year overall, just by like scale and volume of fans. I know that their base is champing at the bit for this one and already naming it the best album of the year before it even drops. Look, I'm excited for this too, but y'all need to chill the fuck out.
And inside, there's a bullet it's rolling and rounding.
Also Hooded Menace with the Tritonus Bell, this Finnish doom and old school death metal band dragging us kicking and screaming back to the 90s. Leprous with Aphelion, the Norwegian progressive metal band striving ever forwards with this one. Los Angeles, California dissonant black metal duo Fear O Lord releasing their full-length debut album Purity of Corruption via Vargheist Records. Then Los Angeles duo Our Place of Worship is Silence, bringing some uncompromising and utterly bleak songs of crippling, depressing, pitch black death metal in Disavowed and Left Hopeless via Translation Loss. There's Nunslaughter with Red is the Color of Ripping Death, also via Hell's Headbangers. This is an Ohio band perfecting their own brand of devil metal, an evil blend of classic death metal and hardcore punk. Head Shrinker dropping Callous Indifference. This was described in the press release as a fresh take on OSDM meets Death Doom, filtered through a Piron sort of deconstructed approach and a sense of technicality. Also recommended for fans of Tomb Mold, Ulthar, Dismember, and Triptychon. And then there's Swedish Viking and pagan metal legends Turfing, back at it again with their first real studio output in 8 years in Vaenmyst. Anyway, it's been a light year for this genre, and I love like folk metal, Viking, pagan, all of that stuff, so I'm definitely interested to hear how this one turns out, having listened to their much earlier material. And y'all, that is just a snippet of the many metal and heavy albums coming out in August. Be sure to stick around as always, because I'm going to also be covering plenty more underground stuff that probably doesn't make this list on my Best of Bandcamp series. And then there may be more surprises, things that I just left out or forgot. Don't forget to hit that like button and let me know down in the comments what album are you most looking forward to in the month of August. So yeah, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There will be more full album reviews of new releases, interviews with bands on the podcast, tier lists, you name it, we've got it. So plenty of reasons to stick around if you are not already. You can also chat with me and several other metal YouTube content creators on the Discord and support me on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.